Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings of peace, mercy, and blessings. Hello there, young scientists. How are you? Are you ready for today's adventure? Welcome to Science Amazing Adventure, where the search for the truth continues. Hang on tight, for we will answer your questions on what, why, and how. For in the great minds of young scientists like you, learning never stops. Follow where your imaginations will allow you to go. This is your science teacher, Teacher Aynah, your guide in exploring and discovering the world of science. For today's adventure, we will explore and examine the changes in the properties of materials when they are exposed to different temperatures. Reminder, please prepare your PPS, pen, paper, and self-learning module. These things are important, for we will be using them as we continue to discover everything about matter. What do you think will happen to materials when they are heated or when cooled? I have here a lighted alcohol burner and a tin can with an ice cube. What do you think will happen to the ice cube if I will put the tin can over the flame for a few minutes? It will change from solid to liquid through melting. If I will remove the tin can from the flame, what do you think will happen to the material inside it? It will cool down. When a material is heated, its temperature increases. But when a material is cooled, its temperature decreases. There are changes in the properties of materials when they are heated or cooled. But before we move on to our science lesson today, let's first recall the lesson from the past episode. Let me take you back in time. Let's time travel using our friend here, Tech Machino. Let's go! You have learned that solid materials can be caught. When caught, these materials may change their size and shape, but no new material is formed. Hence, only the physical appearance of the solid material is changed when caught. You have also learned that not all solid materials can be caught using simple scissors. Some solid materials like iron and steel can be cut using sophisticated cutters like metal cutters or machine cutters. Great! Thanks, friend Tech Machino, for taking us back in time. So, yesterday, we had ventured on what happened to materials when they are caught. What happened to the solid materials when caught? Was there a new normal material formed when the solid material was caught? Solid materials can be caught. When caught, these materials may change their size and shape, but no new material is formed. Hence, only the physical appearance of the solid material is changed when caught. In this lesson, you will be learning more about the changes in the properties of materials when exposed to different temperatures. We will also describe what will happen to materials when heated or when cooled.
Some materials change from solid to liquid when heated. There is also a change in their size, shape, and texture. Some materials change back to their original form from liquid to solid when cooled. there is also a change in their size, shape, and texture.
Trivia! Are you a fan of the Disney film Frozen? Aside from Princess Elsa and Princess Anna, one of the film's major character is Olaf. He is the snowman built by Elsa. As expected of his character, as a snowman, he melted when heated, like when he went near a bonfire or a furnace. As his famous line goes, some people are worth melting for. However, he went back to his original shape when cooled. This time, let us examine some materials and describe the changes they undergo when heated or cooled.
Will there be changes to the following materials when heated? Number 1. Are there changes in the appearance of the pieces of crayons? Chocolate, butter, and margarine? Yes, there were changes in the appearance of the pieces of crayons, chocolate, butter, and margarine. Why did the pieces of crayons, chocolate, butter, and margarine undergo a change in form? The pieces of crayons, chocolate, butter, and margarine underwent change in form because they were heated. They absorbed the heat. Number 3. When the mentioned materials were heated, what can you say about their temperature? When the materials were heated, their temperature increased. Number 4. How would you describe the changes that happened to the pieces of crayons, chocolate, butter, and margarine when heated? The pieces of crayons, chocolate, butter, and margarine changed their form from solid to liquid when heated. There were also changes in their sizes, shapes, and texture. Number 5. When you removed the materials from the flame, what happened to it? The materials cooled down. Number 6. When the pieces of crayons, chocolate, butter, and margarine cooled down, what can you say about their temperature? When the materials cooled down, their temperature decreased. Number 7. How would you describe the changes that happened to the pieces of crayons, chocolate, butter, and margarine when cooled? The pieces of crayons, chocolate, butter, and margarine changed their state from liquid to solid when cooled. There was also a change in their size, shape, and texture.
If you got all of the correct answers, then you deserve your first star.
When materials are heated, their temperature increases, but when materials are cooled, their temperature decreases. When materials are heated, there are changes in their sizes, shapes, textures, and forms. When heated, solid materials are changed to liquid. When cooled, liquid materials turn back to their original state of being solid.
In Science 4, there's always time to explore. So, make sure you are ready because it's activity time! Young scientists, this time we will be describing the changes in the properties of materials when they are exposed to different temperatures. For this activity, we will be using these different materials, namely
a brass ball and ring, alcohol lamp, igniter, a glass of cold water. Are you ready? Thumbs up if you are ready. Great! I have here a brass ball and a brass ring. Watch me as I fit the brass ball through the brass ring. Did the brass ball fit into the ring? Yes, the brass ball fitted into the ring. Now, I will put the brass ball in a hot flame for 30 seconds. Time's up! I will fit the brass ball through the brass ring again and see what happens. What did you observe when I fit the brass ball after hitting it through the brass ring? The brass ball did not get through the ring. What does this observation tell you? The brass ball expanded when heated. What caused this to happen? Heat. Now, I will cool down the brass ball by dipping it into the glass of cold water. I will fit the brass ball again through the brass ring and see what happens. After cooling down the brass ball by dipping it into the water, what did you observe when you fit it again through the brass ring? The brass ball got through the ring again. What does this observation tell you? The brass ball contracted when cooled. What caused this to happen? The removal of heat. What property of the material was changed when the material was heated? Cold. The material changed its size. It expanded when heated and contracted when cooled.
If you got 4 out of 5 answers correctly, it's time for you to add your second star.
There are changes in the properties of materials when they are heated or cooled. Heating is the process and system of raising the temperature. On the other hand, cooling is the process and system of decreasing the temperature. When some materials are heated, their temperature increases. They change from solid to liquid. There is also a change in their size, shape, and texture. But when the materials are cooled, their temperature decreases. They turn back to their original state of being solid. There is also a change in their size, shape, and texture. Materials also expand when heated and contract when cold.
Have you ever been scalded because you accidentally touched hot materials or surfaces? It feels awful to get burned, right? How can we prevent such incidents from happening to us? Safety is our first priority. Here are some precautionary or safety measures that we need to observe in handling or using hot materials?
Number 1. Always use heat-resistant gloves when handling or holding flasks, test tubes, or any glassware containing chemicals or materials placed over a flame. Number 2. Use tongs in holding any material over the flame or any hot object. Number 3. Use protective equipment like face or eye shields against direct heat. Number 4. Place precautionary warnings in and around the laboratory. Number 5. Properly label chemicals to avoid the risk of fire and explosions.
On top of that, for us to avoid getting hurt because of improper handling of hot materials, we should always bear in our minds that just like any material around us, exposure to excessive heat can burn or hurt our skin too. So, follow the precautionary or safety measures that we need to observe in handling or using hot materials.
Let us fill in the blanks with the correct words about what we have learned today on the changes in the properties of the materials when exposed to different temperatures. When a solid material like butter or margarine is heated, it absorbs blank. The heat absorbed is added to the material and causes the material to change its form from blank to blank. The material also changes its blank, 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 and blank. It also expands when blank. When a solid material like butter or margarine is cooled, it removes blank. The heat released from the material causes the material to change its form from its blank to blank state. The material also changes its blank, 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 and blank. It also contracts when
If you got all the answers correctly, then you deserve your third and last star. There are changes in the properties of materials when they are heated or cooled. When a solid material is heated, it absorbs heat. The heat absorbed by the material causes the material to change its form from solid to liquid. The material also changes in size, shape, texture, and form. When a solid material is cooled, it removes heat. The heat released from the material causes it to change its form from liquid to solid. It also changes its size, shape, texture, and form. That's all for today, young scientists. I hope we had answered your questions on what, why, and how. For in the great minds of young scientists like you, learning never stops. Follow where your imaginations allow you to go. Once again, this is your science teacher, Teacher Aynah. Don't forget to follow our official DepEd TV YouTube channel and Facebook page so you can watch your lessons anytime, anywhere. Hit like, share, and subscribe. Wassalam!